Vishwa, my take to this answer is that there is a clear-cut blueprint available to all of us. What we need to see in terms of hiring a talent, in terms of looking at their specific skill sets and the fitment in terms of the culture. With this, I'll be moving to my next question to Milind. So Milind, from your experience, if you share some insights on how have the companies benefited from the skill-based hiring rather than qualification-based hiring?
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Dibyendu and the panelists here. So the skill-based hiring is very critical for organizations. I come from a manufacturing background, presently with Orix Corporation, which is a BFSI and rent-a-car, auto. And here we take a couple of positions on fixed term, right? So fixed term, like where they can be 12 standard, sometimes undergraduates also, and which helps them to grow with the organization as per the needs and the vacancies. The best example I'll give is of the banking industry, some maybe from the banks, so they will be aware, where the IBPS exams are given, those who are 12th and above. So this 12th and above IBPS, those who are at below officer level or clerk level, they have an opportunity to give these exams after 3 years and aspire to be a probationary officer. That IBPS exams, which comes annually, where the English comprehension, the banking terms, the logic, and various things that they can go through that, they can give this, attend the exams, and lastly, the personal interview, which helps them to really aspire. Once they clear this, they are as a probationary officer. So skill-based, they possess the skills, they may not have the degree of being a graduate, but still, after going through the IBPS exams, they are a probationary officer. Like with my organization now, we recruit chauffeurs. We don't call them drivers, we call them chauffeurs. Chauffeurs like who represent the organization. Orix, we are into rent-a-car. So all these high-end cars like Mercedes and Chevrolets and Lamborghinis, like as per the needs of the requirement of the customer of all this Westin and Renaissance, JW Marriott, all the Marriott hotels, where the customers are all high-end customers. Very, very like those who have 100 days stay in the hotel, 150 days stays, and all this very critical customers for us. So my chauffeur is representing the organization. So he may be not a 10 standard pass, but we go through his background verification process. We tell clearly the police verification to be done, which is a very rigorous process. Police verification, if anyone has done it online or going through that process, like who visits the police, visits your home and take the details, and or they call them to the police station and understand the details. At least that is one step that we are clear that the person is going through that police verification process. So he may not have that 10 standard or a 12 standard, but he's able to really possess that skills. The driving skills tests are very critical, right? We have our operations manager who do the driving test. We have the chauffeurs, third-party chauffeurs, agencies also who go through that process very well. And the point I'm making is that skills are going to be very critical, like for certain positions. Like for chauffeurs, I have a shortage of chauffeurs in April, May, June. How many of you face that April, May, June contract workers ke issues aati hai na? Yeah, any housekeeping guy, security guy, because these are the seasons when people want to go on leave. Like special, nothing about North Indians, but they have their own priorities, their marriages, their kuch functions, events, right? Commitments hote hai. So once they travel from here back to their own hometown, it's going to be 15 days to a month, which is not easy for us to fill that gap of chauffeurs and drivers. But still we do our best, like to have the second line ready, how they can be trained and represent our chauffeurs. So that's what the skills of the chauffeurs are of prime importance to us. Since he is representing my organization, 3,000 crore company, the Japanese culture of Orix Corporation. So that's where the skills have to be of very prime importance, and we give them training, intense training also on women's safety, on driving this soft skills, driving skills, as in because any accident happens, we have to go to the root cause of that and see that does not happen again. Right? That's how the training also plays a for his skills development of the shoppers. So that's from my end. So how we go about it, yeah.
To add to what you said, Milind, actually this skill requirement of testing the skill sets has also led to another new trend which has happened in the industry today in hiring. All of us would know that the trend of hiring gig workers has increased a lot now. And that is primarily because of the skill set requirements. When we have specific skill set requirements, that's why now from the traditional hiring, we moved into hiring gig workers in almost every organization now.
Thank you, Milind. Thanks, Vishwa, for putting in your wisdom over here. Before I move to the next question to Amit, my take from this point of discussion that Milind has put in is with respect to the talent management base. So we heard from Vishwa about how we can leverage, how we can channelize our effort in terms of talent acquisition, putting the skill set or skills in the center. At the same point of time, there are possibilities, there are avenues where we actually can channelize our efforts in terms of talent management, keeping the skill sets into the forefront. With this, I'll move to my next question to Amit. Amit, I'm sure like every good thing comes with something evil with it. So there must be some challenges that you as in your organization are facing in terms of keeping this into your center front while exercising this. How about you share some of your experience, some of your wisdom that you have learned throughout your journey, and how did you tackle to those challenges happen?
Thank you so much for this question, Dibyendu. Before that, how was the Josh?
Very high.
Hi, sir. Pakka? I see many people glued to the phones. Alright, just joking. Okay. So, to answer this question, Dibyendu, firstly, the challenges which we encountered in our organization was people like they want conditions. After pandemic, the mindset has changed. 5-day week working chahiye, pick and drop chahiye, canteen chahiye. Which jobs are these are impossible in India because the European MNC culture है तो impossible है.
Cabins भी चाहिए.
Cabins भी चाहिए. Chauffeur driven car चाहिए.
Hybrid भी चाहिए.
Hybrid working चाहिए. बोलिए, is it possible in India? The biggest challenge. This is the answer. In short. But yes, we have to change the mindset of because I, as a head of human resources, when I am given any position to fill, when I approach candidates, उनकी conditions सुन के पहले मैं बेहोश हो जाता है कि ये तो possible ही नहीं है. So people have to be very practical, realistic, that they are open, they are going for work. उनके पापा ने कंपनी खोल के नहीं दी है कि अपने conditions में नौकरी मिलेगी. So they have to be very practical in terms of job hunt, because they are coming to work and they have to fulfill some duties which an employer wants. So they have to be practical and realistic. That's what I can say in short. Thank you.
Just to add to what Amit just mentioned about hybrid working, okay? How many of you are from IT? Anyone from IT? How many of you have been called back to work? Hybrid module से वापस से work from office. How is it going for you guys?
Nobody wants.
Okay, so I come from IT and I know the pain. For the past 4 years, I think from 2020 March to 2022, I think by the end, we were all in work from home environment, and suddenly US said that no guys, now you have to come back to work. Okay. It was so challenging for us to call our people back to work. Like Amit mentioned, we were giving everything. We were giving canteens also. We did that. Honestly, we had a snacking session. We started keeping small packets of dry fruits. We started keeping chocolates. Amit mentioned chauffeur-driven cars. We said, ठीक है, हम वो भी करेंगे आपके लिए. Okay, but आ जाओ office. Okay. The timelines were so stringent, and we were HR people, like all of us are in this room. We know the pressure that we go through, okay? Our bosses are hammering us, our skip line managers are hammering us, okay? The top management people, okay, people sitting in the US are hammering us that you have to come, that you have to tell your employees come back to work. For what? And honestly speaking, somewhere I feel that hybrid culture should be promoted here in India because not everybody stays nearby. Okay, people travel from Vasai, Virar, Kalyan, Shahad, Titwala, Panvel, okay, Palghar, okay. I travel 6 years from Shahad, so I know that it saves your internet, okay. It also saves that person's mental health also, which is very important. Because if you're traveling for 3 hours every single day, imagine the kind of pressure that person goes back to home. The person is not able to give time to their family, to their child. Every one of us go through the same thing. Sir said, Mr. Jitendra just said that he traveled for 21 years. Okay, the family might be feeling कि थोड़ा time मेरे साथ भी spend कर लिया होता. So my husband used to also complain कि इतना काम करती है समझ में नहीं आता आती कब है और जाती कब है. So yeah, I mean that is part and parcel of life. But ultimately my only take here is that we should actually promote hybrid culture. We should think about employee branding, okay? Because hiring is very easy. Like, you know, you give me 10 positions to hire, okay? Amit can easily hire, Mr. Milind can easily hire, Dibyendu can easily hire. But retaining that talent also becomes very important. Because companies don't understand कि ठीक है, hire कर लो. Suddenly when there is an attrition, क्यों छोड़ के जा रहा है? What happened? Why are you not able to keep up? What is the employee expecting? And once we give that statement, that this is what the employee is expecting, no, this is not working.
Bad boss and toxic culture.
Yeah, toxic culture. So our Gen Zs are coming into workforce. So be prepared because they have zero tolerance towards everything. Absolutely. Correct. Agreed or not, guys?
Yes. Even if they attend the interview, that is the biggest thing.
That is the biggest thing.
On time. Interview on time.
On time. If the panel is late, they are like, ma'am, it's already 10 minutes I've been waiting and there is nobody to attend me.
We will be culprit if they call interview on Saturday. The first thing they would ask is, can it not be virtual? Yeah. जाना क्यों है? Can it not be virtual?
One question for the audience. How many?
Great. We have few hands.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. I mean,
Wow. Commendable.
Commendable. To be very honest with you, commendable. I worked, yesterday was my delivery and I worked till today. Tomorrow was my delivery and till today 12 o'clock I was working. In my maternity break also I was working. So
choice, right? Nobody has.
Nobody forced me. Nobody forced me. No. Nobody forced me. But that was the kind. See, this is how we are built up. This is how
our choice.
that is my choice. Okay, but this is how I am built up. But our future generation, it's a good thing also. Okay, I personally feel it's a good thing to say no to a certain things. If they have to go back home, I mean, they have to go back home.
So one thing.
का तो पता नहीं
हाँ.
कि कब होगा इंडिया में. But what we did is in our organization was the same challenge we were also facing. So what we did is we stopped hiring from the Central Line or Navi.
But sir, that is not the solution, na, to not hire them.
Solution.
That is not the solution.
वो bias हो जाएगा.
हाँ. I'll tell you, this actually, it's actually a major issue of, like, you know, not hiring people from Kalyan, not hiring people. But there are people who go there. Not everybody can afford a EMI of 70,000 rupees per month.
Initially they also be ready to travel from Kalyan or Dombivli. But after some time they also start.
नहीं होता है.
2 दिन में हवा निकल जाती है.
But many companies strictly told it कि boss मीरा रोड के आगे का बंदा नहीं चाहिए.
But sir, आपका वर्क एक छोटा सा गांव है हिसार. If anybody knows. हिसार से लोग पटपरगंज ट्रैवल करते थे and people used to travel. Okay. So yeah.
We know we are we are between the lunch. Yeah, please.
No, so with this, of course, a lot of discussion, especially in terms of bringing in work-life balance, bringing in hybrid work. But then, next question to you, Sadhana. So the PwC India survey says that 45% of employers prioritize skills over job history, over your past history of job in terms of hiring. So,
okay, so balancing technical and soft skill plays a very important role in terms of hiring for I think any individual. Okay, in my tenure during ConnectWise, if I had a technical engineer, I had a BTech engineer to be hired. Okay. Until and unless the person is not able to communicate properly about the code that the person has written about certain products, how he or she or they would rather give an solution to the provider, to the client. And our customer base was not just India, it was US also. And we all know when it comes to US, it becomes very demanding. Now we are all working towards just working for one particular country. I suppose everybody is hiring at multi-country levels, people hire from US, Australia, people hire from Russia, then from a lot of other organizations, but they are working with an international brand. So I think it plays hand and glove together, technical and soft skills both. So yeah, I think that's my take on it.
Qualification to skills. Now I heard we can show one example of shopper, then we can show a telecaller and all that. These guys are kind of postgraduate, right? So what type of criteria we should follow while teaching them, grooming them for MBA students so they can get a job as early as possible? So what are the parameters we should maintain it?
I'll take this question.
Yeah, sir.
So sir, in my world, when we talk about MBA graduates, the postgraduates, the first and foremost thing that we should look at them is the adaptability and flexibility. So we talk about molding the culture. Molding into culture is something that probably is the in thing for them to be taught in the institute.
Sure.
Technical skills, more or less probably, we all are having in our bag. The person who is coming into for the interview, he will be having most of the technical skills that are required. But sure, we as an HR, we look at the possibility of this individual to be molded into our culture, whether the person will stick around or not. So that's probably something that you can think of in your curriculum.
Yeah, to add to it,
yes, sir.
To add to it, actually, if you apart from MBA, you have multiple faculties which you are running.
Yeah.
So you also have technical colleges, you have IT.
Sure.
So one thing here I would like to add is, in fact, I've been doing this with one of the colleges. See, when it comes to IT students,
Sure,
when they get out and go out in the industry, they become managers. Where their forte is people management.
sure.
They are very good in their IT skills, they're technically excellent, but when it comes to managing a team, there are people and that leads to attrition, that leads to bringing a bad company culture. So what I would suggest is that the IT people, for the IT staff, for the technical people which you have, it can be medical, it can be I saw you have a dental college also, so you have a medical college also, pharma college also.
Pharmacy.
So be it pharmaceuticals, be it IT, a very important aspect is that there should be a module which teaches them about people management. In fact, I have been running master classes for the IT students for one of the premium technical institutes in Mumbai, where I take master classes on people management for technical people staff. So I think that is a very important aspect which you should consider in your curriculum. That there can be specific modules which is out of your technical curriculum, of course, but there need to be classes on people management and on that. Bringing that empathy in those people,
Sure,
in the technical people, so that they are totally equipped to go and face the corporate world and become good managers.
Sure.
Yeah, just to add wonderful things.
Yes.
MBA means they feel mane bado ave chhe. So are you going to make them empty first? Right? Every day is like I have to start from an empty board. That is ingrained in their mind right from day one till the last day of his in the MBA institute, that he has to show his employability from day one.
Right.
Not a bleeding time of a 1 year management training. If we give that from day one, don't you think he'll be taken on roll faster?
Yeah.
And the most important thing, are you tuning him to accept failure?
Sure.
So, sir, I can add over here. There should be, while admitting MBA, there should be some kind of couple of years of experience that should be added, and then MBA admission should be permitted.
No, that is the formalities by the government of India. What the government of India says, after graduation, 50% or 40% they can admit as per the government norms. We cannot put it that.
Yeah, as per the norms, they have to be taken.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then, otherwise, you will not be able to get.
No, ma'am, simple thing is that what happens, you know that the students take admission, their parents and all the people comes. We took admission because of the job, because of placement. We require 100% placement.
Correct.
We write an assistance, but later on they say they are quarreling. So we put it in from lots of STC, training, grooming, so lots of other
And the
problems.
most important, you said the right thing. You are in the triangle, you are at the topmost important thing, the
Yeah.
institute. But the second triangle is the candidate himself.
Yeah.
And the third corner of the triangle is the parents.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you having intense tension with the parents, right? Not at the start, but in between, right? Not before the results also of his first semester, first trimester. So intense sessions with the parents also. Because parents have not been trained. See, you and I have not been trained to be
Absolutely.
parents, okay? Or training MBA. Like I'm a engineer's father. I was awake with him yesterday, 1 o'clock in the night. He was designing his CV. Today he has his mock interviews. My son Chaitra, second year of engineering. So I am also getting trained with him, right? So it's like reverse mentoring also to groom these MBA students along with you. So
Sir,
the
we-
triangle is very important for you.
We require parents like you, but so those parents comes particularly at the end, not in the beginning or in between. If you do
No,
not.
but you must conduct something like meeting once it's mandatory or.
No, we keep it in parent meeting. We inform and we informing them. We can avail in their progress report.
They should say it is a mandatory to attend. So
Yeah.
some kind of rules and regulation Bible you have to add.
Ma'am, another important thing I'll tell you, in MBA colleges today, quality and quantity is a major issue.
Right.
And that is what we are supposed to address it all in that particular concept. But ultimately, we are responsible to give the job. So we require to take this effort. That is why I asked the question. So anything we can
Little good, I saw your team
Yeah,
also
yeah.
is very good. Like
Sure.
that's another teamwork. Like,
Right.
Like the
Absolutely
moment
right.
a person enters HK, he's clear.
Right.
And then he's going out as a HK institute, he's your brand ambassador.
Sure.
So that's going to be very important for as a MBA institute that your
Right.
brand is every student who is representing you as a
Thank you,
grade.
thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to add one thing.
Yeah, yes, sir.
See, when you brand ambassador, we talk about the ex-students. Why can't you call them ex-students and why can't you alumni? Why can't you have a system like this about your finding the students? Because what they experience is, why can't you share with them? So it becomes more efficient for them because the brain starts working. Then what should I do? Because what are the fields like? When I see, I'm also in HR, 30 years experience. The first day I see the files, see the kind of talk with the people. Why? Give me how to take interviews. When you are in nature, when you speak to people, what they come from, which background, you never know. So you should know that what are the backgrounds my people are. And then according you start taking actions. This was the first question for HR, not for HR. So marketing, they should know why the people are taking this kind of awareness. Because some kind of people, which I have seen, the product is not capable in something areas like South, but they are very good in this one. South पे क्यों नहीं जा रहे? अरे यार, expert they read about some books, तो इसमें यहाँ South में है ही नहीं, क्या बात है? कार बेचो, ये करो, माल बिकता ही 2% में नहीं आता है। वैसे क्वेश्चन तो होते हैं, सर हमारा माल नहीं जा रहा है 2% के, मार्केट में 10-20%, पर मेरा स्टडी तो करो पहले क्या क्यों नहीं है? Why the product is failing? Because South, because some kind of things is there. So you first dig into it and then do some kind of suggestions. मैं करके आया हूँ, मैं सब कुछ चलो मेरा. So they start and they think they're bombarding. Don't do this. This is what the things that you're supposed to know. Basic thing पहले करो. First you find out that and then you speak.
Sir, I'm sorry, I need to interrupt now. So after we have soaked into a lot of information, first of all, thanks to all the panel members. It was quite an interesting session, and once we start discussing about it, we do not realize what is the time. So we have to be very particular as well. And I really thank you to all of you for having us here. And as now we are heading towards the lunch time, so I would request everyone to please go out, enjoy your lunch and networking. And let's come back by 1:40 so that we can get back to the schedule again. Thank you so much, everyone.
Just wanted to end on the note that let's discussion cut panel.
Yes. On the stage. Aditya, if I could have you on the stage.
One minute. Look here, sir. Yes, look here, sir.
I want to.
Thank you so much.
Wait. Thank you. Thank you. Take minute.
I'm Karan Gandhi from JSW Infrastructure. I know it's not a very easy session post lunch to be here and listen to someone for 45 minutes, but I've been told by them that we are running out of time, so it will be a 30-minute session. So we'll try and be a little quick. My name is Karan Gandhi, as I told you. I've been working at JSW Infrastructure for the last 8 years. Otherwise, I have 2 decades plus of experience in human resources. Primarily started off in the services industry, and now in the last 8 years in the brick and mortar JSW kind of industry. And by passion, I like reading, I like to spend time with family, and I'm a podcaster. I like to record my podcast and put it up on YouTube. So this is a little bit about me. The session that I've been asked to speak on today is building a future-ready workforce. Now, when we say future-ready workforce, what comes to your mind? What do you think should be a future-ready workforce? So why should we talk about a future-ready workforce? Anybody would like to say why you...
Skilling and reskilling. We have to upgrade ourselves. Like now, things which we used to do 30 or 3 decades ago, we cannot do the same thing.
Absolutely.
The biggest example is since Nokia, the biggest brand 2 decades ago, it didn't upgrade it to Android, so it's not...
It doesn't exist in many ways today. Yeah, that's correct. So if we don't upskill, we don't reskill, in very simple terms, we become obsolete. So the world of work is constantly in flux, and so too is the approach to talent transformation. Talent transformation, what I used to see 20 years back when I had joined the HR fraternity, was very, very different. And every 5 years as we move forward, talent transformation, talent management, whatever jargons we'd like to use, whatever fancy words we'd like to use, has evolved. And let's see how it has evolved, and since all of us are HR professionals, how we can do our bit to have our workforce, to have our employees be future ready in the organization and in their careers. Yeah, we can yeah. So who are our stakeholders today in our organizations? We have Gen X, we have Millennials, we have Gen Z, and we have Gen Alpha. Gen Alpha is still not in the workforce, because I believe Gen Alpha is someone who's born after 2010 or 2012. But they're still not, but I myself am witnessing a Gen Alpha because I have a 21-month-old daughter at home. So I know what a Gen Alpha will actually be like, and hence I said, okay, let's put what Gen Alpha over there also. So when we look at organizations, Gen X, Millennials, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, we will concentrate a little more on Gen Z, because today the workforce that is coming in, who's giving campus interviews, who's entering our workforce as GETs, as MTs, or as freshers, they're actually Gen Zs. And Gen Zs, they are your millennials. They're dealing with the Gen Zs who are just entering the workforce, and they have to prepare to deal with Gen Alphas very soon. So not a very simple task, but let's see how we can do that.
Karan, just to take a pause, we are circulating this document or a paper where you need to mention your details. You would be emailed a certification for attending this workshop, so it is only for that. So just to give you a piece of information about why the random guy is just circulating the paper. Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, so Gen Z, what are Gen Zs? Non-conformist, individualistic. You say you do this task, do this in 2 days, do this in this method. I will not do it. I will not do it in 2 days. I will not do it by this method. So they have questions for everything. The good thing is, it's not about only rebellion. They want to know the logic behind why certain things should be done in a certain way. Hence we say they are non-conformists. They accept differences and value diversity. Look at the generation 10 years, 15 years back. I would say little rigid we were, or I would say not very elastic, but today's generation, they accept change very, very soon. They accept challenges very, very soon. They are fearless, so to put it. Hence we say that they can value diversity. All this trend that has come about, okay, in the DEI space also, that you hire women, you have LGBTQs, you hire, senior citizens, you hire people from the army, navy, and background forces and all those things. A Gen Z is able to adapt to these changes much faster and much quicker than what we or our seniors were able to adapt to. They negotiate, plus they reform. They will say, I will do this way, but at the same time they will bring across a change in the way things are done in the organization. And that is where people who are Gen Xers or millennials need to be open to even learn from them and not just give them tasks, because they're not going to accept your tasks in any case. They are stable purpose seekers. So, obviously everyone has EMIs, but today's Gen Zs think a little differently. Why should we invest in a house? Why should we put 1 crore of rupees and have a 1 lakh rupees as an EMI? I will take my flat in the next building of my office and I will stay there. I want my work-life balance. I don't wish to be working 24/7. I don't want to check my emails after 6 p.m. in the evening. I don't want to attend my boss's calls at 8 in the night. Many rules they have got into it. And this is
5-day week.
5 day तो आजकल 4 day में move हो रहा है. So Friday को तो काम करना ही नहीं है. Friday they don't wish to work in any case, but that's another discussion altogether. So they work for purpose. Whether they want to become a trainer of a music academy, or they want to be a coach, or they wish to whatever, they do not want to go into very those boxes that we made 10 or 15 years back. They are not going to be confined to that. Wherever they heart
YouTube
falls.
influencers.
Absolutely, and they make more money than what we make.
True.
They make much more money sitting in their own house, recording videos, putting up videos at times they want to put it up, and they earn more money, and they are more peaceful and more happy.
Instagram Reels.
Yes, we'll come to that. Digital natives. So when this generation, from the time at least the Gen Zs, when they were 5 or 10 years old, they've got mobiles in their hands. Gen Alpha, I'll tell you, my daughter was 6 months old, so she took my mobile phone and she's trying to unlock it with her finger, like the way I do it. So वो तो जैसे माँ के पेट से ही सीख के आते हैं. So these people already know a lot of technology, which people above them need to catch up with, and they don't mind putting up a reel or putting up their update. अभी यहाँ कोई अगर Gen Z बैठा होगा तो अभी तक 10-20 updates would have already gone on social media, because they want to show that I am there, they want to show I am at an event, they want to show what I have achieved, and it's more how they get encouraged, which is not wrong in any case. So purpose-driven careers, giving them substantial direction and financial independence. They don't wish to be, depending on their parents' money. Very different in our times. They want to have their own incomes and they want to do it their own way. Their happiness definition is live in the now. Okay, so if they have a 1 lakh rupee salary, they will spend 1,50,000 to the credit card and anyways pay it off some other way, but they do not look at saving. Saving is not their culture at all. They believe that the world can be a better. They don't look at, at our times this hierarchy, L levels or M levels. They can go to the chairman's cabin and say whatever they wish to say. Chairman ko acha nahi laga, to theek hai, I'll change my job. But they are not going to change the way, or we cannot confine them to boxes that way. They seek online communities to confide in. We used to have friends, relatives, but now the trend is that people who are unknown to you, people whom you've never met, you will confide much more into those people than with your parents or with your siblings or whatever. This is what the trend is going. They aspire to grow and shatter boundaries and limitations, and they believe that they have the power to choose and curate their family and friends who are accepting and supportive. That's it. Okay, so I'll move a little quickly. So how can we deal with so many generations? Because being in HR, you have to deal from the 21-year-old who's just passed out his graduation till the 65, 70-year-old sitting in the board. So how can we deal with this? The only one-word answer I have to it is change. And as Albert Einstein had put it, the measure of intelligence is the ability to change. If we do not change, I mean, we are all here because we've changed. Otherwise, 20 years back, as I told you, jo HR hota tha, ya jo finance hota tha, jo procurement hoti thi, was very, very different than what HR is today, or what finance is today, or what procurement is today. So now we will look at how we can change. I put down some 6-7 main points. We focus on agility, adaptability, and resilience. Why? Because pace of change will continue to accelerate, especially in the IT industry, in the software field. You learn a programming language, you kind of master a certain, kind of technology tool or anything, and it's just not there. I mean, if you look at what we had in social media, we used to have Orkut when we started. Nobody even knows about, I mean, the Gen Zs at least don't know about Orkut today. Facebook used to be something huge 5 years back. Today it's Instagram. Instagram maybe rather than the post, it's the reels that are trending today. It's the reels that are trending because everyone wants information in 30 seconds or 60 seconds. Time hi nahi hai. Because I podcast, I know when I post a 6-minute episode and I get those data at the end, even though the views may be X, but then I see the average hear time. Sometimes the average hear time is 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes. So people don't have 6 minutes even to listen to you. Right now, 30 seconds ka aisa impactful content though, that is when people will listen to you. Workforce that can learn quickly, adapt to new technologies, embrace continuous transformation, nimble-footed workforce, and being resilient and persistent. I will just come back to this a little later. First, we go to the next slide. How do we do this? We can do this when we have data-driven talent management. What is happening is, the problem with HR, and I'm being very frank, is that our data is not in place. Every 3 years we are changing our HRMS because the HRMS doesn't seem to function the way it is supposed to function. And then one tool does not talk to the other tool. So somewhere, we are still stuck to our Excel sheets. We are still stuck to doing pivot tables on our Excel sheet and getting data. But we are moving to, especially now, we are moving to times when decisions have to be made basis your data set. It is not that being a learning and development professional, I can say that, okay, I'm just calling for a training on presentation skills and get me 30 nominations and people will sit in the room and they will listen to you. It's not. Who are the people who need what kind of training has to come from your data set? How do you identify skill gaps that are there in your employees today? that will also come from your data set only, and that is where we talk about AI and Gen AI. Artificial intelligence will use your data to throw up certain suggestions for you, but Gen AI will even make the module for you. Okay, artificial intelligence will say that so and so needs training in ERP, but Gen AI will create a module on ERP training for you and give it, and that is where technology has advanced today. Personalizing learning pathways, as I told you, we can't have 30 people in the room and say that, okay, this is your presentation skills and now do it. Obviously that still happens and that will happen, but that doesn't impact you so much as in if I have a need, and if the organization can listen to my need and give me a customized training program, that is what will be personalized for me. You will also have to measure effectiveness very, very differently, because when you have 30 people in a room and they're filling the feedback forms, that method is only going to give you a limited feedback about how the trainer was, how was the food, how was the environment, how was the training content, or did you find it too long, too short. Itna hi. It cannot give you any effectiveness at all as to what is happening on the job. Whether that presentation skills are being used on the job, it is not going to do that. So what we need to do is devise methods on how we can get that effectiveness on the job. 360-degree insights for strategic workflows planning. Even till today, we are having manpower acquisition forms that flow in, and then you have the requisite signatures or you have the requisite on system approvals. But after that, what happens is, why do you need the person? Just because somebody has resigned somewhere, you need to backfill that person. That is not the reason why we should hire today. So when we use data insights, we will actually be able to see whether we need to hire a person, whether we are overstaffed, whether we are short-staffed, or whether we need to bring in certain new kind of people in the organization. And we should be able to take critical talent decisions. So this is where the world is moving to. We are a little, as an HR fraternity, I'm saying as an HR community, and I'm saying we are quite behind right now. But we need to catch up, because business is moving very, very quickly. Businesses are acquiring other companies, businesses want to grow fast, share values have to increase, and for all that to happen, if your organization, of the people in the organization are not kept in sync, there may be some challenges. How do we remodel the learning ecosystem? We already spoke about moving beyond traditional training departments, create a comprehensive learning ecosystem. Nowadays, of course, we do have this entire thing about online training. So many vendors and so many online training you tie up with, and you have a library of 1,000 trainings. But honestly, the rates, or if you see the percentage of people that are logging into the system and percentage of people who are completing these programs, is very, very dismal. Means somewhere it is like, why will a person then not go to Netflix or an Amazon Prime and see the content he wants to see, rather than go on a 14-inch laptop or on a screen and see that. So that is somewhere not exciting people. But the next step, where what these platforms are now doing is, they are tying up with universities. They are tying like an IIM or even universities abroad, and they're giving their 3-month, 6-month, 9-month programs, which are much valuable than just putting up a communication skill, or just putting up some program that is easily available anyways, which is not going to be valuable. Hyper-personalization of learning, very, very important. We spoke about it earlier. We also spoke about AI and Gen AI and bite-sized learning modules. People actually, if it is online, they want to learn within 30 minutes or 60 minutes. They cannot spend 8 hours online on doing content that way. So that is something, maybe we can have bite-sized contents of 15 minutes, which can be done over 15 days. So he spends 15 minutes every day for 8 days, and then the module is over. This is something that will fly with the people today. We also, session. So today currently around 70 lakh gig workers are there in India, which is a minuscule number given that we are 140 plus crore population in India. There are 70 lakhs and there are projections that we may grow to about 2.5 crores by 2030. But our laws and our ecosystem does not support gig workers so much. Now in the new labor code that is coming up, we are going to have this minimum wages being applied to these people. But then again, it does not speak about their insurances and all these things. So a framework needs to be built by an organization and also by the government, so that because we are many, as I told you, Gen Zs now and Gen Alphas, they will not prefer coming to the office for 9 hours into 5 days. That is not going to fly at all. They would rather do project-based work, that okay, some organization has called me and I work for 20 days over there, and then I go for a 10-day vacation, and then some other organization I do 10-day work somewhere else. That is the upskilling in these. So we focus on skills and not job descriptions. आज भी hiring job description से ही हो रही है in 99% of the companies. Wherever I work, it's all it's all JD based. We are not looking at the skills at all, and that is where we are not doing the right hires. Number of skills for a single job increases by 10% each year. So if you are hiring for a HR person, that HR person, if you would be hiring 10 years back, the skills you would look are very different from the HR person you would look today. So if that HR person has not upskilled or reskilled in the last 10 years, then he would already be outdated or obsolete. Actual projects relevant to their day-to-day work. So what we are, but then it is not getting reflected in their work. So if we plan it in such a way that we do a particular training program and then give them a project related to that topic or related to that subject, the learning will be much quicker and effectiveness will be much higher. Partnering with educational institutions is important. We spoke about AI and Gen AI already, especially for people who are already 10 and 15 years experience in the organizations, because the people who are coming in now, they do not like to take notes on pen and paper. They all want to do it on their devices, and it is they don't even want to send emails today. They don't even wish to send emails today. So many organizations have WhatsApp or Telegram like solutions, so that all communication happens through that. Let's move on. How do we build a flexible workforce? Again, flexible schedules, we've already spoken about 5 days, about 4 days, but COVID was the only time I have seen where there was actual work from home in India. And in fact, in JSW, in my organization, we had work from home only in that initial, the first lockdown, the 4 lockdowns that were, only the first lockdown of whatever number of days we were at home. Otherwise, we had to go, because we were all plant-based and we cannot keep our plants shut. That is the thing, less approach. Now the problem is not about working from home, but how do you create a metric that can define if they've done their work properly or not? How do you measure that, or how do you kind of see that it is being effective or not effective? So many organizations now I know have completely scrapped work from home, and they're saying come all 5 days or come all 6 days from office. But many IT companies especially are still having a 1-day work from home or 3 days a month or whatever it is. But some solution will have to be found, because traveling is a nightmare. I mean, I have just come from Andheri to here today, and it took me 1 hour 15 minutes. Just Andheri East to Jogeshwari West. 1 hour 15 minutes. And this is going to get only worse and worse and worse. So unless organizations are nimble, unless they see the pain of the employee, and at the same time the employee sees the pain of the organization, that there should be not work being affected, it has to be a two-way story, and then only work from home will work. Prioritize diversity, equity and inclusion. It brings a wide range of perspectives to the table. If you have a Gen X and a millennial and a Gen Z and an Alpha sitting in one discussion, you will have varied points coming up rather than if you have they've gone to the same college, same kind of courses, same kind of organization, same kind of work of experience. You're not going to have diverse opinions. So let's have different kind of people. It breeds innovation and leads to better decisions. Welcome and value differences, access to wider range of talented people, and better retention and lower turnover. In interest of time, I'm going a little quickly. Gen Zs develop or have our millennia develop or whatever, because these are evergreen competencies. And if you want to be an employee of the future, in the future, 10 years down the line, there may be many competencies that you have to work on, but never fail. Three kinds of competencies: intrinsic, people, and organizational. So when a person has to work on himself or herself, it is intrinsic. But if he has to interact with somebody, it is people related. And when it's on the intrinsic competencies: agility, adaptability, confidence and courage, innovation and creativity, effective communication, emotional intelligence, and time effectiveness. Okay, so why agility and adaptability? We've already seen. Change is important because if we are in our comfort zone, zang pakad jata hai, and if we do not, challenge our grey matter, we cannot move forward. And we need to be accountable in responding to change. Confidence and courage, making confident decisions even when situations are difficult. That is what is, being confident yet humble. A person who will work confidently but yet listen to the other person, the other side of the table, and then work out the solution together. And separates average leaders from great leaders. People who are confident, who are courageous leaders. Innovation and creativity, these companies like Google, Apple, Tesla and all, they actually give some to come up with some creative or innovative solutions. So we need to push our boundaries, disruptive and out-of-box thinking. If we can have half an hour every week where we will learn something what we don't know at all. Nowadays this thing is about learning one new word every day. So if you learn one new word every day in English, and it's all available on Instagram and YouTube. If you want to improve your grammar, you have to just go to the right Insta page or the right channel, and वो सिर्फ 30 सेकंड का बाइट लेगा आपको, and you will learn it. That's it. It's all about the willingness if we want to do it. Effective communication, I won't go into this but it's very, very important. Emotional intelligence, understand, use and manage our own emotions in positive ways to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, and overcome challenges. We've had tough meetings, we've had tough clients, and those meetings were tough because either we were not emotionally intelligent or the other side was not emotionally intelligent. So and we can inspire others with personal integrity, communication skills, plan very, very, I would say strategically. Exactly. We have to plan very strategically and see that our goals are achieved. Now let's go to people competencies. We'll go one by one. Relationship building. Gen Zs are very individualistic also. So how can you build a culture? How can you build an atmosphere where you can take them along and yet have a very beautiful relationship with them? It's not impossible. Ultimately, they are also having the same blood. They are also having the same body. It's just that it's a generational gap and it can be plugged very, very simply in building activities, thank you notes, appreciation notes, effective empowerment, mentoring your team member, and delegation here, of course, because there are some people who just like to work on their own. They say that, if I don't work, kuch nahi hoga. But at the end of the day, you're not developing yourself also, and you're not developing the other. Because full year you will not tell anything to your employee or to your subordinate, and in the end you will give a G rating. That doesn't work at all. That doesn't work. So if you very, very important. Collaboration, I won't get too much into details, but even cross-functional collaboration is a challenge in organizations nowadays, where finance does not know what the business is doing, business does not know what the HR is doing, HR does not know what the procurement team is doing, because nobody talks to each other. Everyone is on screens. So we have to go back to basics somewhere. Conflict management, I won't get into it, but very, very self-explanatory. Negotiation, two parties with different ideas agreeing on a certain outcome. Very important when we are managing workforce as HR professionals. And now we come last to the organizational competencies, where you have cultural intelligence, employee motivation, decision making, and strategic thinking and visioning. Cultural intelligence, they say the world is a global village, because especially in JSW I have seen, so I work for the port industry, where we have our ports on the east coast and the west coast of India, and we have a corporate office in Mumbai. So when I visit a port on the west coast, so much cultural difference from when I visit a port on the east coast. Dharamtar on the west coast, but when I go to a Chennai or a Paradip or a Tuticorin on the east coast, people are the same. Culture is very different. So as HR people, how can you, integrate the culture of the organization? Employee motivation improves company efficiency. Now, the new fad word moving nowadays in HR circles is not engaging employees but involving employees. Employee engagement से employee involvement की तरफ चले गए. How do you involve employee in the business? Where the revenue is coming from? Which client is giving better profitability? कौन सा turnaround time कहाँ use करना है? The problem is that we as HR people, even 10 years back, I never got involved in business. From one port to the other port. So as HR people, it's only if we have to succeed, we have to know business. Yeah, last 2 minutes. Yeah, we have to know business, and if we have good business people, we will be HR people. We cannot just expect that we will come and recruit and train and
payroll.
That whole life cycle. That is so 10 years back. That life cycle doesn't work now. Now you can trickle them down into all the organization. And critical decisions should be sound, rational and solid. Lastly, strategic thinking and visioning. Analysis of available facts, evidence, observations and arguments to reach a conclusion. Again, as the first line that we were saying, that use your data to come up with your workforce plans. Similarly, this is not just about HR, but if we use our data, what has happened in the past, present and future, even in our very successful in life. That's another session altogether in itself. And intelligent decision makers are highly analytical and always rational. So use data. Data is God, as they say nowadays. Data is king. One second, I moved. Okay. Yeah, so intrinsic. So first you work on, then work on the people competencies, where you need to work with your teams or with your functions. And then intrinsically, if you don't have those competencies, you can never be a good people manager, or you can never be a good leader in the organization. So start that, bottom-up approach. So work on, as I said, building intrinsic competencies, followed by people, followed by organization. But what finally counts after all this, what Oprah Winfrey said, you change leadership. If the attitude is rotten, the team performance will get rotten, and the organization will also suffer. So our attitude needs to change. Have a very humble attitude. Be in a learning, kind of environment always. And I think that's all that's needed to be successful and be a future leader, as that my topic was. Thank you very much. I hope. Yes.
Thank you so much, Karan, for your valuable insights and all. I would like to ask you one question. LGBT. The moment a decade ago, we used to hear this word. It was taboo.
Right.
Then Section 377 and all. So I, being an ally to the LGBT community, when I proposed this DEI concept in my organization, I was labeled as an LGBT person. So how to change the mindset of a company and get a DEI involved?
See, this is working. So it has changed. If you see 5 years back, DEI was never even spoken about. Today we have one HR forum almost every week on DEI. Almost every week. So it is kind of, getting into organizations, but then again the mindset cannot be changed so quickly.
Exactly.
Mindset cannot be changed so quickly. So we have to surround ourselves with people who have that mindset. हम किसी और का mindset बदली नहीं कर सकते.
When I propose this concept,
Ratio hiring, whether it is hiring senior citizens, gig workers is also in a way, you know, your diversity hiring only. Because if you hire gig workers, now this whole concept of, you know, we should not have so much manpower, do your core stuff, and then you outsource the stuff, which is why payroll is mostly not done by organizations, and it is outsourced to other organizations now. So this ये जो आपका सवाल है वो mindset पे है और किसी का mindset हम change नहीं कर सकते.
thank you.
Thanks. Any other questions?
Insightful session, but yeah, we had to rush because we are running a bit late. Again, I know a lot of people are already smiling on me when I say, okay, when we ring the bell, but yeah, that is what we have to do today. I'm really sorry. So, I'd like to call upon on stage the next panel, which will be talking about corporate exceptions from academia, bridging the gap. So, I would like to call upon a stage Mr. Rajiv, Associate Vice President, Talent Acquisition, Trigyn Technologies Limited, Mekhola. Woohoo! Mr. Alkesh. He is an Assistant General Manager, Center of Learning Limited, and Mekhola Fernandez, CHRO, Trick Commodities, and Mr. Shyam. Yay! Welcome on the stage. Shyam, over to you.
Good afternoon, one and all. Thank you for gathering justice to this event as well. So before starting the event, I would like to request each and every member to introduce themselves in one sentence.
I am a charismatic person.
Oh wow.
Rajiv, I am a passionate person.
Wow, that's nice.
My name is Alkesh. I am a pipe barber. So this was given to me when I was working too hard for the major launches in India, where we were launching iPhone and major products, where we wanted like 10,000, 20,000 people across. So they call it, as you know, I am attracting people and I can fill people as much as you want. So I think this is going more than one line. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Noel Fernandez. I am the CHRO for a company called Tor Commodities, and I'm a person who is driven by a purpose.
Finally, I'm Shyam Bahadur Prajapati and I'm people's person, always around people. So before starting a session, before asking a question to panelists, distinguished panelists, I have some figure and facts with me which has been researched by Niti Aayog or by LinkedIn or by India Skills Report. So I'll just read out some of the reports which talks about what is the current state of students in India and what kind of education we are giving to the students. It says the India Skills Report 2023 found that only 46.2% of graduates in India are considered as employable. NASSCOM says, according to NASSCOM AI and Data Analytics Report 2023, employees in India are increasingly using AI and data analytics to make hiring decisions. Niti Aayog says experiential learning such as project-based learning and real-world problem solving is highly effective in preparing students for workforce. So these are the few numbers. The most saddening part of the number is like all the surveys are saying in the range of 45 to 50% students are only employable, and that is where we are talking about what corporate expect from the institutes and academia and what exactly we are looking at. For me as an organizational HR person, I want a person to join from day one and start working from day one. I should not spend time and money and resources on training for basic things. But right now I am doing that. So let's move to panelists and take their points and their viewpoint, what and how they are managing, what exactly they expect. So Alkesh, you have been working with a lot of organizations and you have been part of a lot of big launches, be it Airtel, be it iPhone, and the quantum of people you have managed is huge number. So what role do CHIP or cooperative education program play in bridging the gap between academy and industry?
Correct. See, the background here is that I work for Centum Learning Limited, which is Asia's #1 training organization. So we have multiple projects. So we work across industries. So I am not stick to any specific industry in the past many years. So if I am launching iPhone, then I would launch something else. And currently I was handling transformation from Air India to Tata. So I was purely hiring cabin crew staff, where we had a target of hiring 200 cabin crew every month. So this is how diverse it is. When I have also launched Airtel DTH and many other products. So I would also work with Big Bazaar Pantaloons and move into retail. So it's very diverse. Now I just wanted to say one thing. If at all you want to train Ramu on math, you should be knowing Ramu as much as you know math. Similarly, I would suggest if academia wants to connect with something, or you want to place your people into industry, you should be knowing that industry as much as you know your students. See, we start manufacturing products. When I talk about manufacturing, it's about the students. We are developing them, we are creating, nurturing them, and we try to place them. We are not doing enough of marketing for them. And most of the times it happens that haphazardly we start manufacturing. At the end of the year, we find out, we start searching jobs for them, and we do not know where to place them. Right? So it is very important that you look for a sustainable partnership. And for partnership, it should not be a last moment hakal-kathul where you start running. I've worked with academia also. I was closely with Mr. Sunil Rane, who's the MLA there, Borivali for Atharva Group of Institutes. And I have personally met Ajinkya Patil, Mr. Vijay Patil from DY Patil and other institutes. We've been working really hard on these concepts where there is only a passing of buck going on. We do not have a structured way where these people can be placed in a better environment. The consultants in between who can align you to the academia. I am from industry. For example, when I was hiring for Tata's and Volkswagen, we wanted a lot of people in software. Now, when I connect with people that I come from Volkswagen, I want software engineers, they would always feel that this person wants automobile engineer and is galti se idhar mang rahe hain. But automobile requires a lot of software engineers. Because आपका पूरा सॉफ्टवेयर पे ही चल रहा है. But academia will never come to me for software engineering. They always feel that भैया ये automobile का ही है तो ही इनके पास जाना है. Right? So there are similarly so many myths into it, and you connect with the correct academia, and the correct academia has to connect with the correct industry. Then only you will have a sustainable partnership. I think I will keep going on.
Great. So so I just want to understand how the internship helps students to grow. Does it help, or it is just for the sake of it?
See, internships are definitely very helpful. This is how, when the person understands what am I supposed to learn in life, he doesn't learn anything. he learns only कि मेरे को क्या सीखना है. Internship 3 महीने के बाद he only understands कि मुझे ये सीखना पड़ेगा. मैं अपने आप को बहुत समझ रहा था. मैं जब यहाँ पे आया हूँ आज क्लासरूम में या when I come to the industry and I have been treated like a doormat. That's how when he understands कि भैया now I have to grow from here. Doormat would not be the correct word, but then he अंदर से उसको समझ में आता है कि लोग बड़ी-बड़ी कैबिन में बैठे हैं, मैं चूहा हूँ. अभी मुझे शेर बनना पड़ेगा. See, I want to be very specific because I've dealt with people. We used to get people from Assam, Orissa. They used to run away from halfway. We have this person who comes with them, who stays with them. और अंदर की बातें निकलवा देते. भैया तेरे को कुछ तकलीफ है क्या? आपको एक स्पाई रखना पड़ेगा. See, इतना आसानी से नहीं होता है. मैं बोलूँगा 1 लाख पब्लिक हायर करो, पॉसिबल नहीं है. I have hired 1 lakh people across the country for Jio when we were at RCP. ये फिगर्स इतने आसानी से अचीव नहीं होते. आपको पूरे इंडिया से लाना पड़ेगा, आउटस्कर्ट से लाना पड़ेगा. when you are planning now, people are facing huge problems with this electric cars. इलेक्ट्रिक कार्स का उनको मिल नहीं रहा है, कोई ट्रेन मैन पावर है ही नहीं. और आप सोच रहे हो कि मैं ट्रेन नहीं करूंगा, मैं कंपटीशन से ही लूंगा, तो आप उसमें टाइम वेस्ट कर देते हो 6 महीना कि भैया मैं कंपटीशन से ढूंढ रहा हूँ. 6 महीना 8 महीने के बाद पता चलता है कंपटीशन में भी नहीं है. So it's better you start developing your own manpower. No, start training them because there is no other way to go about it. This you should have done a year, 2 years before when you predicted that these kind of requirement is going to come. You nurture, you connect the academia, you keep going to and forth to academia. मैं लास्ट दिन पे एक दिन जाता हूँ इंटरव्यू लेने के लिए. वो बंदा मेरे को देखता है, मैं उसको देखता हूँ. मैं फायर फाइटिंग में हूँ, ले लो भाई, ले लो, सबको ले लो. इसकी जगह पे मैं अगर 2 साल पहले से जाता, I keep going to the same academia, I keep going to keep meeting the same guy again and again. That's how the trust is built. I'll give you one more last example. I have a lot to say, but I will give you one example. When I hired for Airtel, thousands of people would come. When I put a board Airtel, क्योंकि Airtel publicity करता है, people see them on the news, they see on the screen, they know Airtel. When I moved to IFB, which is again India's #1 washing machine manufacturing company, I used to put a board. भैया IFB में इंटरव्यू चल रहा है, कोई आएगा ही नहीं, क्या है IFB? So this is how when the company doesn't advertise, people do not know the company, but they had better opportunity with IFB than Airtel. Airtel में हम किसी को भी कुछ भी काम देते थे, भाई तू इधर थप्पा मार, एंट्री कर, कोई भी काम करने को तैयार है, because they have a big figure name Airtel. उसी में IFB में मैं उसको 50,000 ज़्यादा दे रहा हूँ, तो उसको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. So this is how you keep going to academia, keep explaining them about your industry, right? You need to train them, you need to nurture them. This you try to do after you hire them. This should have been done before you hire them. You build trust, no? You attract them. तभी आएंगे, तभी सस्टेनेबल रहेगा. आप गुडी टॉक से एंड में प्रेशर में हायरिंग करते हो, बंदा भी एंड में प्रेशर में, मेरे 4 दोस्त हायर हो गए, मेरे को कुछ नहीं मिला, मैं यहाँ चला गया. वो अंदर रह के भी बाहर जॉब ढूंढ रहा है. तो ये सब क्या मतलब है?
Thank you for candid response. So great. Rajiv, will come to you. Since you've been going and attending a lot of placement colleges and going for the placement, the question to you is like, how can Indian academic institutions better align their curriculum with the rapidly changing skill demand of IT industry to ensure graduates are workforce ready?
Relevant question. Good afternoon, everyone. How is the Josh?
Repetition. Great, Rajiv.
Made everyone,
Throughout the lunch session, and I mean, previous session was also very nice. So I just wanted to give you an example of recent, last 5-6 months. We as a company always hire freshers, and I think it will be very repetitive because I guess someone was talking in the morning. So we, called around 83-84 students. They were all from Mumbai, all B.Tech Computer Science. And as a hiring process in our company, we give them tests, aptitude test, which is reasoning, logic, some maths, And out of 83-84 students came out, and we had almost 8 to 9 positions to fill. Only 3 cleared the test. It was very shocking for us because they had good academics, done very well in the marks during their academics, and we are a mid-sized company. We are not Infosys or TCS of the world. Our test was not that tough. And we got this problem every year on year, and whenever we have to hire 10 or 15 freshers, we have to at least meet 1,000 to 2,000 students and do multiple, drive in multiple cities. And after that also we get them, we have to again spend almost 3 to 4 months to train them on one particular technology, say Java, .NET, and after that they become ready to plug in or ready to start our work. So what my expectation from the industry is that, or academic is that, they should see what is happening in the market, what technology stack is in demand. They should train the student as per the demand in technology. Suppose if I go back 20 years back, it was an era of mainframe, discovered DB2. It's no more in use, So they should look at what is in the demand in the market. UGC has recently brought professor practice as a concept, which will definitely help all the colleges to invite all the faculty from the university so they can come, guide them, teach them, and they become employable. Also, my expectation from academia would be they should train all the professors, because they might have, but things are changing very, very fast. So they should be updated what is happening, what technology you need, and also academics should tie up with the organization like us. What will be needed after 3 months, 6 months? So we don't have to wait for 3 months or 6 months. The moment they come, and they should ready to plug in and start from working from the day one. One thing I always believe that they always teach good communication skill, but they don't teach listening skill. That is very, very important point of view. And last thing I wanted to talk about internship. Whenever I meet the candidate during HR round and when I ask them what they have worked, what they have performed, or what project they have done, they are not able to explain properly. And that's where many of them we get reject them during the HR round. So my expectation from the university and colleges is that they should do thorough research, go work very hard with the internship, make sure that they're not doing time pass. They should really work, and we are, as an industry, we are ready to help them, grow them, because we know that it will save our time and money. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajiv. That was really good inputs, and I'm sure the professors and the institute over here will take a note of those. So Mekhola, will move to you. Since you work in the organization which have huge workforce, so how can, according to you, how can university foster a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship among students?
Thank you for the questions, Ram. Am I audible? Yeah. Yes. Okay. So no topic or no forum is complete without speaking of culture and DEI. I am not a culture pundit, but yes, what I could recommend to the institutions or to the academia is that in spite of getting internship, which is technically or typically which ranges from a month or two to so maximum 6 months, the students, they don't get an exposure in terms of industry exposure or function specific exposure, because internship बहुत ऊपर से होता है. आप टिपिकली, मैं रियल टाइम एग्जांपल देती हूँ. आई लव टेलिंग स्टोरीज. तो जैसे कोई भी कॉलेज से कोई इंटर्न आ गया मेरे पास या मेरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के पास, जो भी डिपार्टमेंट पे हमने उसको एलोकेट कर दिया है, जो टिपिकल एक्सपोजर होना चाहिए वो होता नहीं है. अगर इफ़ यू मेजर, अगर कैंडिड फीडबैक पल्स ले लो, तो लोग बोलते हैं 60%, 70%, कोई बोलता है 30% मुझे समझ में आया मैडम, उसके बाद मुझे समझ में नहीं आया. So what the institute technically should focus is complete immersion. So it could be like, मतलब उसको break कर सकते हैं. The internship pattern can be revamped rather, maybe 2 months, and then they come back to the college. They gather practical knowledge, and again like practical and theoretical knowledge, and again go back. Culture, when we speak about something which has to be innovative, like if you are out of the innovation, you're out of the rat race. And when you speak about innovation, it is also about how you change your mindset in a very nimble manner. Since morning we have been hearing lot of changes in terms of flexible working, in terms of change of workforce, the gaps of skills, reskilling. ये सब चीज़ें इंस्टीट्यूट को भी अपने उनको भी अपनाना चाहिए. Like they should also adapt to this. Then only technically whether college students who would be ready for taking up the job in future. And the last thing which I would like to mention is you should have, all the colleges should have incubator cell or innovation lab. But for the namesake, every college has it. But how practical it is in terms of your adoption. Maybe a student has come up with a very bright idea, but सब लोगों ने बोला अरे तेरा idea तो बेकार है, क्या करेंगे? So that students also gets very demotivated, and instead of taking a step forward, they take a step back. So they should also have this. They should also gain and also get an exposure to implement their idea, to execution. Ideas to grow like germinate होते हैं, पर उसको कैसे आप implement करते हो in a test format is also what the institutes going forward should be looking for. Thank you.
Perfect. To add something related to incubation center, I think many of you would be aware, Government of India has new policy which is named as AIM, Atal Incubation Scheme Center kind of. So there they sponsor entire process to the institutes and to the organization where they can set up incubation center in the institute, and they give kind of the kind of grant which is around 8 crore rupee for the setting up all these centers. So institute should take a utilization, they should utilize this kind of scheme which is promoted by Government of India and help the students as well as the organization to create more and more startups in India. Yeah. So let's move to Noel. Noel, for you. Thank you. Yeah, no. So for you, I have a very now. Now you were.
Why are you giving him
Exactly.
Yeah. So asking about what corporate, what institute should give to corporates. Now we will flip the table now. Tell me, what role should industry play in supporting academic research and innovation, and how it can help to grow students and make students more employable?
Thank you for the question, and I would like to kind of build on my fellow colleague Mekhola's response to the previous questions, because it's kind of having shades of the previous questions as well. There is a term called continuous improvement or continuous learning. All of us are very familiar with this term. What we did is we implemented this term during my stint when I was the head of the Center of Excellence team in Raymond's. So Raymond's actually is a apparel company, and we design clothes, especially fresh designs. And we look up to students from the IIFT, Indian School of Fashion Technology. What we did is we understood that when we did campus hires from IIFT, they would do a 4-month stint with us, and eventually we would give them PAPs. But we realized that that was not working for the freshness of designers that we required from them. So we implemented the continuous improvement terminology with them directly. Instead of having a 4 months internship with Raymond's, we had a monthly internship across 4 times a year. So every quarter they would come to the Raymond's campus, and they would design fresh designs for our spring summer, that is one collection, and the autumn winter, that's the second collection. While they were designing for us, one of the intern, when I was taking feedback from her, she mentioned that I'm not able to apply my designs on paper. And I asked why. And she said that is because when I come to the office, to your Raymond's campus, I realized everyone is dressed formally. And you can see today is the weekend, but we're all dressed in suits. So I said, how does that matter to you? So she said, my job is a very creative job. I need to think colors, I need to think shapes, I need to think designs. When I look around, all my colleagues are wearing formal shirts and formal pants, and as Raymond's, we're proud of it because we call the complete man for nothing. So she said, I can't apply my designs to paper. So I went back to my CHRO and I told that my intern has a problem applying her designs because of the culture that we have. And believe me, Raymond's is a 125-year-old company. We went and spoke to our CEO and he said that going forward, change the dress code policy, that everybody will now dress civil and wearing. And immediately from that day onwards, we changed our dress code policy, which was approximately 125-year-old. And people started coming in clothes which they were comfortable in. And that intern, who was interning, it was her first month of internship, actually did a very good job. Her collections, her designs did the maximum sales during our summer spring collection. So the point I'm trying to kind of emphasize here is that this intern, came 4 times, came and she had something new to give back to us. And we as a corporate did not enforce our 125-year-old rules on a 25-year-old, I would say, child or a kid. We in fact learned from them and we changed our 125-year-old policy. So all I'm trying to say is that we as corporates, as today being a weekend, I can see a full house here, and 90% of this room is filled of HR professionals, and we were just talking about 5-day a week and 4-day a week, and believe me, this is the 6th day of your week. So I can see the passion in you all almost the entire day here, listening to 4 of us, 5 of us, talking about something which you already know. But I'm telling you, there is a lot to learn. As corporates, we should learn. And so for your institute, I also have got some experience with a pharma company. I see that there is a lab there and all the students are technically working on some formula, FDP or ARD, I don't know, they're working on it. But I think what we kind of should probably give back to the students is give them an opportunity to go to pathology labs to understand how these formulas are actually implemented in real life and come back. And this has to happen probably once every quarter, a week, field trip kind of a thing should go for them. Because it's easy for manufacturing and retail and service-oriented companies to all of us.
Great. Thank you, Noel. So we have spoke about institute, we have spoke about Conclave, talk about us. We have studied somewhere and we have alumni of some college or some institute. So let's explore how institution can support lifelong learning and upskilling of their alumni. How they can engage us in their from everyone, and then we'll close this session.
So I'm question is pertaining to alumni and how colleges can help their alumni. I am not an alumni for any of the college. I have just done plain graduation from a government college, and then I started my corporate journey, and there has not been a looking back. So I may not contribute much, but then what I feel is after interacting with MBA graduates and day in and day out, the colleges can facilitate lifelong continuous learning by getting them back to college again maybe in a periodic manner of 5 years, 10 years, the institute can decide, and give them a sense of learning what they had learned when they were back in the college days. It is like a refresher course or like a reverse mentoring course, and also provide them nuggets of learning which they have learned from their corporate experience and mix that and get it back to the students. I think that type of relationship between the students, the college and the alumni will create a atmosphere where everybody will enjoy, and also it's a matter of enjoyment and also change your mindset as well.
Thank you, Mekhola.
think in recruitment, if a portal can be made for the institute and they can join, and corporate like us come to you like, okay, 5 years back somebody have passed out from college and we want 5 years experience candidate. This will also help for us for hire them directly from the college, and it will be win-win situation for both your student and for corporate like us also.
You see, just like in corporate, we have culture anchors, and these culture anchors have helped the organization to grow at a level. Similarly, I would suggest that your college alumni should also, they know the culture of the college very well. They know what kind of manufacturing is done here, because they have been manufactured from the same factory, right? So if I grow up the ladder and I want a particular niche profile, which I feel, the most important thing is to get adjusted in the corporate environment with the corporate culture and climate. Ramu would know his subject, but Ramu has to know the industry better. And I've been seeing Ramu struggling here. I really want to speak a lot on it, but I think in short, if we have to understand, they can be your best resource. Keep in touch with them, observe them where they are going, connect with them. Even if they are not trying to connect, you try to connect with them. This is the major problem between academia and industry. अपना टीपीओ बोलेगा सर वो मैं पहुंच ही नहीं पा रहा हूँ, वो सीनियर लेवल वाला रिप्लाई नहीं कर रहा है, जूनियर लेवल वाला मेरे को इधर फुटबॉल खिला रहा है. You try to connect the senior level. Now if you are not able to do it, that is your fault. I wanted to connect to Vijay Patil, Ajinkya Patil, I did it. I am giving you one example. I could not connect with Vijay Patil. Why? Because मुझे भी छोटे बच्चे लोग उनका टीपीओ ये वो घुमाते रहते थे. But when I want 1 lakh people, I can go and sit on the table. Boss, मेरे को इतना पब्लिक चाहिए. I would want to meet the topmost authority. If things are not working, I will have to find a mediator. I paid a consultant who is a professor, who is taking me to each and everyone. Who is taking me to Satara, he is taking me to Rajaram Bapu College, he is taking me to Kotlapur. Now he is the person who is guiding me. The Ajinkya Patil will take care of Kolhapur. Vijay Patil will take care of Vashi. So he is the person who is guiding me. If that person wouldn't have been there, I wouldn't have understood ABC of hiring. I am telling you, I am collected with all the politicians of that time. There is somebody called Balasaheb from Pune also, not the Mumbai Balasaheb. All these names are still in my mind. Try to understand. It is very difficult to connect with these people. So stay connected with them.
Thank you.